fact, Peter Singer's not even from the United States. I've never met Peter Singer. I don't care about Peter Singer. I don't know what he's talking about. I really don't know what he's talking about. What I do know about is that Mr. Cozad said that bestiality, any laws against bestiality are unconstitutional, and only with, where's my mom? I got to talk. Can I play this video? I guess I can. It's not here. This is B.L. Cozad in a conversation with my associate just a few days ago, saying that bestiality is okay. Did anybody hear that?
So any law involving any sort of protection on an animal you think is unconstitutional? Including the bestiality laws?
He said, do you want to hear it? Yeah, it's not it. It's the whole thing.
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't need to hear what
All right.
anything.
You heard it, right? You heard it. You said it. Is that okay with you? I don't know. What I'm saying is that, okay, if he thinks it's okay to be bestiality, have that fight. Have that fight. But what he's doing is he's telling you, and you ought to be standing, you ought to be taking the heat over it, and he hasn't taken it. That's, you know, I've seen people in animal protection pull that garbage too. Listen, you guys are not the only ones that got whack jobs in your side. I've seen it. I've seen the people who pilfer money for animal protection, just like some people who pilfer it for cockfighting. It's ugly. That's just what people do. I'm sorry. Next.
Again, I say same thing. Bestiality, I don't care. That's for somebody else to fight, some pervert. Okay? I'm here to fight about the cockfighting issue, which is unconstitutional. Now, again, the 10th Amendment. Rights reserved to the people. The government has a duty to protect the rights of the minority group from the majority. Understand, the majority do not need the protections of the Constitution. They're the majority. They can vote in whatever law they want to. But America is not a socialist democracy where the majority can dictate the rights of the minority. America is a constitutional republic where the rights of the minority are protected from the majority. That's the entire purpose of the Constitution. See, the majority can vote in a law that says cockfighting is illegal. They can vote that law in. That does not mean that law is constitutional. Because the Constitution is written to protect the God-given rights of the minority from the majority. And the lowest number of any minority group, 1. And thus, the purpose of the Constitution is to protect the God-given rights of the individual from the government. And by doing so, it protects the God-given rights of the individual from the abusive and tyrannical power of the government. How abusive and tyrannical is it when the government comes out and points a gun at you over a chicken that you own? The only way they do that is when the government puts a higher value on the chicken than they do your human rights and your human life.
Socialism. Goes to that. Socialism. Anybody here on Social Security? Disability? Anybody on disability in this room? Yeah, you talk pretty loud. I heard you mention it earlier. What is that? You understand those are socialist programs? We have some socialism in this country, and there's been a lot of people that have been able to stay afloat because of it. I suspect some of it is very good. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a good thing. I want you all to stay afloat. In fact, I want you to be better than stay afloat. I want you to thrive, because you're Americans. I want you all to thrive. What I don't want you to do is commit acts of cruelty, especially when they're illegal. Now, the cruelty is my opinion. Cockfighting laws. And he just goes on making his presentation. And I was supposed to be really loud with it. Then he put it in phone calls, putting it in posts. Ha, ha, ha. Are you in for it on September 6th? And ha, ha, ha. It does ha, ha, ha. It's funny. I do get a kick out of it. People, I'm just here to talk to you today. I wish he would talk to you too. And I wish he'd talk to you about cockfighting instead of reading off amendments that you could do on your own. But I'll be here to talk about cockfighting after we're done. And maybe at some point we'll get BL, at some point in the future we'll get him to talk about it too. Are you stupid? You can read those amendments on your own. You came here to listen to somebody read amendments to you. I'm trying not to waste your time. I hope at least if I'm not sparking just pure theory in you, then maybe I'm sparking some kind of desire for dialogue or whatever it is. Maybe you'll come and challenge me to come to one of the conferences. I wish you would, because I'm all up for that. Challenge you to be out to give me your schedule, or any one of you, if you believe in what you say you believe. Otherwise, if you're not, am I really that guy here? Really? Which amendment this time?
The brilliance of our founding fathers. Guys, the more you study the Constitution and the founding of America, the more reverence that you will have for the intelligence that our founding fathers had. The 10th Amendment ensures that the states have the duty to stand against and stop federal violations of our rights, in particular the Bill of Rights, but it is the federal government's duty to do the same thing, to stop the state governments from violating our rights. Most of our elected officials do not understand that they take an oath to support and defend the Constitution, and they don't really understand what the Constitution says, or what the Constitution means. Now, Mr. Higgins talking about what we're doing, and talks about the cockfighting industry. Something that he's very emotionally based about because he doesn't like it. He wants it to be criminalized. He wants it to be stopped. He wants you to be forced into his opinion. The good thing is the Constitution ensures and protects his right to have his opinion. But that's all it is, his opinion. And his opinion does not supersede my opinion, and it damn sure does not supersede my God-given, constitutionally protected rights, because he does not have the authority to supersede God and take my rights away from me. My government officials do not have that right either, unless the government is setting itself up and wants to pretend that it has superseded God and taken my rights away from me, because the government has chosen to set itself up to be the source of my rights. And America is not founded on that concept. America is founded as a constitutional republic where my rights derived from my Creator are guaranteed, protected, and secured. And the government and Mr. Henry do not have the authority to supersede God. They do not have the authority to violate my rights. And I wish he would learn that. He has one option in this. If he doesn't like cockfighting, shut up, stay at home. Don't attend the events. Just mind your own business. And there are too many people in America today, like Mr. Henry, that want to use the government to force people into their opinion. And that is truly sad, because that's where socialism comes in. And all these little people protesting in these spoil kids because they're crying because they can't get their way and the government won't do what they want them to do? That's Mr. Henry.
Let me say again, illegal in all 50 states, the District of Columbia, and most recently the territories, at the behest, the latter at the behest of Donald J. Trump. The only one that's crybabying about it here today is you. Asked and answered many, many times. Anything new? Jeez, I'm falling asleep over it. Y'all have tested on this later. How do you do with his rant?
In fact, okay, under Title VII, Chapter 50, Subchapter 4, Section 2003 of the United States Agriculture Code and federal laws, it gives the status of what a socially disadvantaged farmer and rancher is. Now specifically it says that a socially disadvantaged farmer and rancher are people that have experienced discrimination based on sex or race or ethnicity. And it gives a definition of ethnicity as people that are discriminated against because of cultural traditions, social groups that they operate within. That's the Gamecock farmers. Our cultural traditions, a social group. We're a minority group. Even the federal government in the agriculture codes here have recognized that we are a minority group. We are socially disadvantaged farmers and ranchers. If we are socially disadvantaged farmers and ranchers, then inside of our court system, we're entitled to strict scrutiny standards of judicial review. That means the government must prove a significant and compelling governmental interest